Hi, my name's Simon Nelson. I have diffuse cutaneous systemic sclerosis, scleroderma. For me, the first real signs that I had the condition, although I was unaware that it was a condition, would be the Raynaud's and the tightening of my hands, my feet, and particularly my forearms. Also, I would have quite a lot of fatigue, particularly in the afternoons, and I've been having gastrointestinal issues for a long time. There have been periods during my life when I had issues with swallowing as well and choking incidents. So that was probably an indication that issues with the gullet and reflux over the years. It took quite a while to be diagnosed. Obviously, there was a lot of confusion and uncertainty about what these various conditions or symptoms meant. But I probably first started to report them at the end of 2018 and then through 2019 and then through COVID with the local health centre with my GP. And it was probably with the help of a locum, actually, who recommended some blood tests, and they were sent to the rheumatology department at our local hospital. And it was from there that I was called in, and the rheumatology specialist told me that I had the protein antibody indicator to suggest that I have scleroderma, systemic sclerosis. In terms of the treatment, it was pretty soon after that. So I was diagnosed in July 2021, and then I was prescribed mycophenolate, lansoprazole and sildenafil for obviously to slow down my immune system, to help slow down the progress of the disease, lansoprazole for the reflux and sildenafil for the Raynaud's in that autumn. And through some information from my sister-in-law, actually, I sought referral at the Royal Free, where there's obviously a specialist team for scleroderma down there, and I saw Dr. Ong and Professor Denton at the beginning of 2022, and I've subsequently taken part in the clinical trial, the DAISY trial. What were my first experiences of being diagnosed? Well, surprise. I've never heard of this thing before. Obviously, quite a bit of concern. It's not something that's well known, so naturally, you start to look down rabbit holes on the internet to find out, the symptoms, the proportion of the population that would have this, the extent of knowledge around the disease. And when I was having my sort of consultation with the rheumatology department at Peterborough Hospital, they did explain that there's no cure for this disease. It's hard to explain. It can shorten your life expectancy, and it probably will. So that puts then a lot of worry, particularly on your family and loved ones. It was very difficult for my wife to digest that, and quite difficult to share with people because it's quite a hard condition to explain. But in terms of, that initial sort of like experience, it was one of kind of like getting used to it, trying to find as much information as possible, seeing if there were any sort of help forums to get involved with, and to go deeper into connecting with the Royal Free, where we found out that it was a specialist centre for this disease. In terms of the hurdles that I experienced, I'd say that you get used to the physical symptoms, because a lot of them you've had, the tightening of the skin, the swallowing, digestive problems, gastrointestinal problems you've had for a long time. And, they're annoying, particularly dropping things, fatigue, joint aches, the various things that come with this disease. But they're kind of like the new normal. But I think it's knowing that it's something that is quite serious, like scleroderma. It does have a psychological strain on yourself and on your family. It's the not knowing. When will this thing drop on me? Will this thing become more serious quickly? Will it be fatal. These things do kind of hang over you, and it does sort of like erode your work confidence, and in certain social situations it can, you know, make you less sure of yourself, a little bit uncertain, and it's quite difficult to tell people about it. You know, is it a cancer? No. Is it arthritis? No. Have I made it up? No. How many people have it? Not many. Do you know anybody with it? Probably not. So these are kind of the hurdles that you have. And in terms of overcoming them, I think you've got to stay positive. You know, you've had these conditions for a while, you know, and also you're getting drugs for it now. People are aware of it. Specialists are aware of it. Really, really appreciate, and I'm grateful for the support that the clinical trial team at the Royal Free are giving me, and also from Dr. Ong and Professor Denton. You know, their support is invaluable. It helps you understand the condition, the progress of the condition. You're monitored on a regular basis, and this is extremely helpful. But from a personal perspective, I think it's very important to keep active, because your body's really quite stiff. So if you can keep, you know, walking, I walk, and I keep as busy as possible. Also pursue the things that make you feel proud of yourself and feel fulfilled. And for me, it's I'm in a band. I've been in a band for a long time. I play the guitar. The strain on the tightness in the hands and the forearms does make you adapt the way you play the guitar. But that's interesting in itself. I've spoken French in my business career, and I've tried to keep that going as well. You know, travel, keep your family close, and seek the support of help groups around the condition. So anything that can help raise awareness of scleroderma and to help sort of investment into finding a cure, or to help with people with the condition, you know, I'm all for it. So thank you.